So there's a new piece of healthcare legislation meant to repeal and replace Obamacare, put forth by a few senators. They are Dean Heller of Nevada, Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, and former Senator Rick Santorum. I don't know how a former senator is really behind it, but anyway, so this healthcare proposal is probably the most draconian out of all the GOP ones given so far. And we had the AHCA, which fell, which then led to the skinny repeal vote, losing by 1. That was when John McCain famously turned his thumb down and voted no to let that not move forward. So the GOP has 52 seats in the Senate, and they will need at least 50 of those votes to go in their favor so they can pass healthcare legislation. And that's only because they are doing reconciliation, which is a Senate measure by which, instead of using the 60 votes that it would normally take to pass a bill, it only takes 50. And if it's 50, Mike Pence would be the tiebreaker vote. So it's a shitty tactic. I mean, it's a totally disgusting tactic is a better way to put it, because you know if the Democrats tried something like this during Obama's term, you would hear nothing about it. They would be trying to impeach everybody. I mean, because that's just that's just ridiculous. So anyways, there's 3 major problems with this healthcare legislation. The 3 critical issues in the Cassidy-Graham legislation. 1, spends less on healthcare, meaning that it gives states more leeway on money, but instead of the normal amount they would receive in healthcare subsidies from the federal government, it would be cut back to about $146 billion. And what they're going to do is take that $146 billion and take all the states that approved the Medicare expansion package and Obamacare subsidies, because there's a lot of GOP states that were like, no, we're not taking anything Obama gives us because, you know, they're ideologically opposed to helping their people. But anyways, so these states are all going to benefit because those 30 states are going to end up spreading out their Medicaid expansion to the other 50. So $146 billion in block grants, which is what they're going to be receiving instead of these normal subsidies, are going to be spent in terrible ways. And let me tell you why. Because these different states, especially states that are notorious for misspending their funds, a lot of states in general, but red states are known for blowing federal money on things to either kick themselves back some money, hire a private company to do work for them, stuff like that. So the second thing that this does is it makes it much more expensive for states to continue in Obamacare if they like it, because the states are going to be able to keep Obamacare under this, so it's not even a full repeal and replacement of Obamacare. However, instead of the federal subsidies that the government would give them, they're going to cut those back, and the states are going to have to make up the difference, which is really behind the back way of just trying to dismantle Obamacare from within, basically. And the third would be the individual market is going to become way more expensive for the sick people. And the reason why the reason why that's going to be happening is because by repealing in this legislation the 10 essential benefits that were covered under Obamacare, which were ambulatory services, so getting a ride in an ambulance, emergency services, hospitalization, maternity and newborn care, mental health and substance abuse disorder services, prescription drugs, rehabilitative and habilitative services, laboratory services, preventative and welfare service, and chronic disease management, pediatric service including oral and vision care. So that's child care at the end. So now insurance companies would no longer have to provide those. Private insurance companies wouldn't under their plans. And if that's not twisted enough, they're also going to get rid of pre-existing condition protection, which means if you have a pregnancy, that's a pre-existing condition. If you've ever been to the dermatologist and they found a skin cancer on your body somewhere, even if you got removed and it's gone, you have a pre-existing condition. If you have ever been sick, if you have your appendix removed, existing condition. I mean, pregnancy can be a pre-existing condition. Do you want to explain to me how pregnancy is a pre-existing condition? Now, luckily, this bill is very unlikely to pass, thank goodness, and that is only because of how disjointed the GOP has been over passing their legislation in the past, because they've not been doing a great job at it. Like I said earlier, they weren't even able to get the majority, Congress and Senate, to pass healthcare reform, and it's draconian healthcare reform. It's not helping anybody. So luckily, you do have a few members of the GOP saying no, even though some of them, like Rand Paul, I don't believe are saying no for the right reasons. But a no vote is a no vote, and very important, because you have to remember at least 46 of these 52 Republicans are going to vote with their party every time. They're just that easily bought and paid for, and they really don't care about their constituents. And some of them have expressed genuine concern about wiping away pre-existing condition coverage. But if you wipe away pre-existing coverage and they end up voting for it, they're going to end up being total hypocrites, and then it's going to show the people in their district that they never gave a fuck about them. So I don't think this will pass, honestly. It's still something to keep your eye on, because you never know what kind of backroom deals they could be doing, what kind of negotiations they could be doing to try to get this thing through. They have a very short window of time because it was submitted to the Congressional Budget Office for scoring, which is something that must be done before it can actually be voted on. That usually takes 2 weeks. They have 3 weeks to pass this thing. Mitch McConnell, who passed it to the CBO, said, hey guys, hurry the fuck up on this. We got to get it back, because we got some donors to please, and then we have some tax cuts to push forward, and a busy agenda on their hands. So let's keep our eye on this. I also want to thank the YouTube subscriber of mine who recommended this story to me. If anybody else would like to recommend stories, please feel free. Would love to cover anything you're interested in. If I'm interested enough in it, of course, or if it's like not, of course, like just silly and frivolous stuff, because I like to cover some topics that actually matter. Maybe a fun story once in a while, but you know, try to do my best to spread knowledge, man. So anyways, if you like what I do, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Thanks for watching.